Now, I think this discourse, to my mind, is pertinent because, as I see it, it's not just a matter of new feudalism or new conservatism. You sense a juxtaposition of ideas between those who wanting to continue to promote reform, democratic reform, or at least what we call or refer to as democratic transition, respect of the constitution and the rule of law, and those who use these what we consider are quite obsolete arguments. Come on, academically, intellectually, you cannot stand to reason to suggest that you are protecting the rulers. No radical critic in this country has ever questioned the institution of the rulers. What we question is the abuse, as Mahathir and the entire UMNO at one time, although I think and I believe that some of their rhetoric went a bit too far against the royalty. We have to decide, if we want to keep the institution, then there must be some decorum in our criticism levied against the rulers, because we also appreciate the fact that they are not at liberty to rebut in a public discourse. So I would contend the fact that we may choose to be relatively more circumspect or even polite without losing the essence of criticism. Tuku Samsu correlated his experience. I, of course, as Minister in government, as Deputy Prime Minister, Acting Prime Minister, had a vast experience in having to deal with the rulers. At the personal level, when you go direct to the rulers, the sultans, and to say, Tuanku, please understand that we are here to support you, but I don't believe that we can proceed with that specific proposal of yours because it would adversely affect, the amount of respect. In most cases, I think I have not yet experienced one case where they have said no, although you know about the case that I referred to in the book about the Lamborghini case with the the previous Sultan of Kelantan, where I wanted to be extremely polite, but then he took the car. And they are entitled to about 9 cars, tax exempt, but this was the 10th car. And I thought that I had to make the point very clear. But then, on the quiet, when he then sold one of the cars, then I just closed the case. I mean, it's not something that many of us were quite satisfied. But my point is, those so-called proponents, the Prakasa, the UMNO Youth Times, talking about Malay supremacy. I mean, if you engage with them on the assumption that they do believe in Malay supremacy, then I think the whole argument is flawed. They don't believe in Malay supremacy. It is a question of control by a corrupt ruling clique. That's all that they're interested in. I mean, if you talk about Malay supremacy or Malay rights, then the interest of the Malay masses must be considered. Look at the new economic policy. Look at the new Malay empowerment. It's empowering the few. So I actually, in my exchanges, sometimes will take an issue against many of my friends, the non-Malays, who tend to rebut purely and encourage this discourse as if it is a Malay, non-Malay dichotomy. It is wrong, because it is the Malay ruling clique versus the Malay masses. I mean, we were in Sungai Limau, one of the poorest rural heartland, paddy planters. You enrich the Malays. Who? Syed Mokhtar. He controls the entire Bernas paddy industry at the expense of these poor masses. For the last 23 years, how many of us in the urban areas are aware that the Malay paddy farmers have not got a raise in the price of paddy last 23 years? and you expect them to be protected. Who are the protectors? The rulers protected? Or the Malay elites? Or the Malay parties? No. So the discourse has to change. That is why I started using this phrase, juxtaposition of ideas. We have to come up and say, look, we have to protect the rights of every citizen. And those that need to protect it, not the big conglomerates, the big tycoons and the senior professors. They are well protected. What we need to protect are the poor masses. And this transcends of racial barriers. Now you took up this issue about whether it's constitutional or not. I was convinced. I mean, Aziz gave some views and Tommy Thomas, quite a number of our colleagues gave the views that this is unconstitutional. We raised it in Parliament, outside Parliament, completely ignored. Because we have, the problem is systemic. It's not, I mean, to apportion the blame to the sultans, I don't believe is quite correct. Okay? The sultans need to be reminded. They are a fountain of mercy, they are a symbol of unity, they need to actually represent the conscience of the majority of the people. But that's part of it. But it's systemic because this system is corrupt at the core. Who advised the sultan and the government? Attorney General. One of the most incompetent Attorney Generals that we can find anywhere in the world. And he continues to survive. And we have that sort of a problem. So, to my mind, maximum we have done, I mean, we have exhausted in Parliament, outside Parliament, saying that you have to respect the constitutional mandate. You know, we, as you know, even the last elections, we garnered 52% of the popular votes. Yes, we are not in government, but at least any decent government would recognize that. Yes, these people are in the opposition, but have at least the basic decency to consult and appreciate the fact that the majority of the rakyat wants change. And it's not a matter of changing a minister or a prime minister. It's changing this damn corrupt system. And as I said, it's systemic. It is, I mean, how parliament is being run, how MACC is being run, how the judiciary. I mean, you say, okay, refer to the judiciary. Fair, good luck to you. I've had a lot of experience with the judiciary. All right. Now, so the instruments must be independent and credible to be able to be given the necessary support. So I think that's why I welcome. I know it is sensitive because, you know, Husin has lived and virtually, I think, rejoiced controversy. People say that Anwar, you love controversy, you know, nothing compared to Hussein Ali. But it is important in the discourse. I would urge and encourage not only Malaysians, of course, but also Malays. What is the relevance of Sang Sri Buana and Lemang Dabar Daun? Malay annals, as you know, in all classical epics, of course, there's a mixture of mythology, legend, historical facts. But there is wisdom in Tun Sri Lanang, subtlety and sophistication in reminding, in his attempt to remind the rulers, yes, your power is absolute, but this absolute power is interpreted in this manner. One, subject to the notion of justice. Two, at that time, is even we decide to punish, it must be subjected to the laws at that time of the Quran, of the Sharia. You know, so it's not absolute rule that these semi-literate jokers of the Prakasa types are promoting. You know, really. I mean, you are promoting in 2013 not a healthy discourse at all. You become anti-ruler, anti-Melayu, you know, you are just pro-Christian. I went and paid respects to Pope Francis 2 weeks ago, and therefore I'm pro-Christian. And you go to a Deepavali function, you are pro-Hindu. You everything else except pro-Melayu, because that is confined. I mean, there's of course their monopoly reserved for them. So I think it is important, therefore, to relate, to get the students not only to read Malay annals, but to understand, subtlety and sophistication of Tun Sri Lanka in attempting to remind the rulers even some devastating critique of the role of some sultans in the past, when there was clear or gross abuse of power or injustice. The reminder was painful. How is it that in the Malay annals it was described, was it Tun Fatimah, because of eating buah nangka, fruit nangka? Yeah, fruit. Okay, punished. Okay, but it's explained in such detail that any sensible Malay at that time reading the text would feel so painful and would be so adversely, painfully affected by the sufferings of Tun Fatimah because of an unjust decision of a sultan. But the criticism is not direct against the sultan. And I think not that we need to do it now in that sort of a language, but Malay annals, in my mind, remains very relevant. Okay, that you understand the Malay psyche, that you understand that the whole discourse about the role of Malay rulers or Malay supremacy is fundamentally flawed, not tied to any classical text or culture, society, and certainly not Islam. And it's why I think this discourse is important, but unfortunately, this is not encouraged. I mean, can you imagine TV3 giving us 20 minutes to listen to Husin and 5 minutes each from us? It's not possible. And because of that, we come back to Edward Said's conclusion. It must be some subaltern text and maneuver to be able to create this sort of critical mind, critical thinking, in order to promote change in our country. Terima kasih.